Now, I'm very conscious that we all want to have a drink, so I am not going to talk for very long. And if I do, we have something in the office which we call the naughty step, and I know that I will be put on it. So all I'm going to talk about is Oxfordshire Uncovered. Why have we called it Oxfordshire Uncovered? I don't know if any of you saw the massive stand there. Perhaps you couldn't miss it. But we are launching something. So there were loads and loads of statistics, and all of those statistics have actually come from this research. And I think we can sum up the research in 4 simple words. And John has already touched on it, but I'm going to say them. Oxfordshire has real inequality. And that is really what we wanted to uncover. And I think it's really easy for us to be here today and actually to forget that in this county there are so many people who are not as fortunate as us. And I know the team, and this is a real team effort. This is not my glory moment. I've had very little to do with Uncovered because there's some people in the audience, the team. We have used lots of research. It isn't stuff that we've gone out and done ourselves. We've pulled together information. We've spoken to loads of people, and we've heard real stories of lives of people that are going unheard and unseen. Many of the 200 people that Richard was talking to you about, people that just don't get a voice. And I can tell you, it's been a roller coaster of emotions in the office, and that is actually what we think people need to know about. And it just seems to us that people don't know about it. Here we are in Banbury, and this most wonderful parkland setting, yet just 3 miles or so down the road, there are 3 of the worst wards in the whole county. There's 3 out of 15 in the county of Oxfordshire are actually in the worst 20% in the whole country. Now, do you find that shocking that here you are in a green, wonderful space? I mean, that is something that we find really bad. So, as I said, I haven't got a lot of time. So I've just picked a few of the things that are actually on the stand. And over lunch, you can ask any one of us, and we'll be able to tell you loads more. Now, it won't come as a surprise that 39% of the population actually live in rural areas. We are a very green county, and that is just natural. Most people live in settlements of less than £10,000. But the reality of this life is actually that 30% of those rural households are more than an hour away from a hospital. And if you sum that up, that 40% of pensioner households, and we know that nearly 1 in 6 of us in the county is actually over 65, actually don't have a car. It's not a good place to get it. I was at an economic question time last week, and many of the businesses there were bemoaning the fact that they couldn't recruit staff. And there was a big debate ensued about housing. Well, it came as no surprise to me, and I did pose a question from the floor, that Oxford is actually the most unaffordable place to live in the whole of this country. And that is a problem that has loads of consequences for us all. Yes, it's great if we all own a property, but the knock-on effects of having a housing crisis that we have in this county means that it's not just the person that you see sleeping rough when you're walking through the city centre. It's at all the village people protesting against planning permissions that they don't want happening in their village. So these things happen to us all, but we have to do something about it. And I think that's why it was brilliant that Sir Dominic came today, because it isn't a problem that's just happened. We have always had housing crises if you look back over the history of time, and I think we need to be thinking more as a community, how can we solve that? The last point that I'm going to share is obviously Oxfordshire is an incredibly academic and world-class leading educational county. We have 2 great universities, lots of fantastic schools. But I think the thing that really, really we find so difficult is that not all children are able to access that wonderful thing that we can offer. Because we believe there's actually 12,000 unidentified young carers. Some of them as young as 5, helping parents or siblings with medication. Many of them, 40% of them, have got special educational needs. And for us, what that really means, that's 12,000 young children whose childhoods are being sacrificed, who actually, more than often, don't even get the opportunity to go to school because it's just absolutely quite inconvenient. So we think that that is a tragedy. And this whole idea of young people and children, it's actually, as Richard mentioned it, mental health. we believe that in the 14 to 17-year-olds, self-harming has become a real prevalent problem. So that is nearly 2 in every classroom, and it's boys and girls are actually doing something because they find life so difficult that they're trying to end their own lives. This cannot be right, and this cannot be right here in this wonderful setting in Oxfordshire, that this is actually happening now. So that is our Oxfordshire Uncovered. It's a fantastic read, it really is. It's easy to read. Thames Valley Police have helped us with it, the County Council helps with it. We've just pulled together favours from all our friends and our networks, and we believe we're giving you what Andy Boyd says is a reality check. It is actually the Oxfordshire that Thames Valley Police recognise. So I would tell you, please over lunch ask us a question. But I think John has alluded to it. What was really behind us wanting to share this report? It's because we believe, as Sir Dominic said, these problems are not going to go away, and they're bigger than all of us. And what we really hope is that this will enable people to want to come and work with us, to partner with us, to find ways of supporting charities like Richard in a very simple way. Let's not make it difficult, let's not all be competitive, but let's find a way to do it together. So thank you for coming. It's absolutely fabulous to see you all here, and the sun was shining, so I'm going to hand back to John.